Yeah, good morning everybody. I guess I should try to get in this video and that this isn't about me. This is about the tools that you need in order to do your canning. I have processed and mixed the chili, and right now it's heating up. I'm boiling jars right now in order to sterilize them and that, but I'm going to go through the individual tools that you should have basically to be able to start canning. There is, when you use the jars, okay, this fits inside the jar. It just helps you pour easier without getting everything all over the lid, because you've got to make sure before you seal it that the lid is, that the surface there is perfectly clean. Okay, and this usually, a lot of this all comes sometimes in a kit. You've got a magnet here in order to pick up your tops when you need them out of the boiling water. You've got what I call an oxygen releaser. What you do is, when you've got everything in the can, you work your way around it into the jar. You work your way around it to release all the oxygen bubbles, and you've seen me do that in order to do that. So, and a nice little spatula here is ideal for that. Then of course you've got a scoop. I'm going to use this scoop for the chili, okay, in order to put it into the jars. And what I've been using on the beans and the carrots and everything else is, of course, that scoop right there. I've got a huge one here. I'm not going to be using it for this, so I'm going to put her back up on the wall here and that. And then of course I use some, when I'm doing the beans or the carrots or potatoes or anything, you always use a half a teaspoon of salt for pints or a full teaspoon for the quarts. Then you've got your lids. Okay, I haven't boiled them yet. I will be boiling them here pretty quick, and again, that's basically to sterilize them and that, but these are your normal lids. There's also this variety, which is a one-piece kind of lid and ring, and this is awesome, previously used, and of course when I cleaned them very gently, and they still got a good seal. One of the jars I'm using is a pickle jar, and again I'm going to try it with a pickle jar and that, and this is the type of lid that comes off that. Just make sure if you decide to use a jar that's already been used for something, that you clean the inside here and make sure that that seal around the outside is good. It's indented because it was previously used. That really doesn't have too much to do about it. I'm telling you, with the pressure, it'll seal again if it's good all the way around. If there's any gaps in there or that seal is somehow broken, it's no good. Then I'm going to kind of turn the camera here, lift up a little bit, and I'm going to show you the two canners that I have here. And that this canner here, okay, right now I'm actually boiling my jars, okay, and what it is I've got 7-8 quart jars in there, and it's full up to here with water. So the jars are actually below the surface, and I've got also a holder. They're actually sitting in a holder like this, okay. There's a spot for each one of the 7 jars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the middle, okay. That keeps the jars off the bottom and off the flame, or else they can break. You know, it's still glass, even though it's tempered glass in that. So this is in there. The jars are now sitting in there completely submerged, okay, filled with water, and boiling them in order to basically to sterilize the jars. The other part here, of course, is my pressure cooker. This came from the United States, and most pressure cookers have a rubber seal around that seals it and everything else. This does not have a rubber seal. It is basically sealed by the aluminum rim here when it's heated up. This also, if I can quickly pull it out of here, and you can see this, it has a plate to stick in the bottom so the jars do not sit actually on the metal on the bottom, which is direct contact with that flame. You set the jars on that, you submerge that, and kind of put this back up here, get it ready. Okay, you've got a vent valve right here. Okay, after I get all 7-8 jars in there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this on both sides. Let's see if I can. These weren't set right. I got a little off center here. There we go. Okay, you do it from both sides, and don't just snug them down, and then do the next ones, and then finally, if I can get it by the container here, I'm off just a little bit here, and then finally the last one, like I said, not tight, just snug them down. Make sure that this area right in here is equal all the way around. Okay, so you've kind of got to sit here when you get the jars in. Well, a little bit off. And then I can turn around and check in the back and see the gap all the way around here is, wow, really pretty close, equal. And then you just snug it down a little bit. Once they're all up there and snug down, just tighten them a little tweak, just a little bit. They do not have to be tightened hard, okay? The metal will expand and seal it off. Once I've got that in there, I've got this all set. With the heat on, of course, this is the vent valve and steam will vent out of here. You let steam vent out of here about 10 minutes or so. Then you take this little gadget here, which allows you to adjust the pressure inside from 5 pounds to 10 pounds to 15 pounds on all of ours here, because we're really at sea level here. And that, once that vents off, put that up there, and it's set at 10 pounds of pressure, so the gauge here will move up to 10 pounds of pressure, and then this will start jiggling. And it'll maintain, with the heat on, that 10 pounds of pressure. That whole process is probably going to take you close to a half an hour. Once that starts jiggling, especially because we've got meat, tomatoes, and everything in the chili here, it's going to be an hour and a half. 90 minutes we're going to pressurize it at 10 pounds. So that kind of gives you an idea of the whole process I'm going to go through here as soon as everything's heated up, and I'll show you the actual canning of the chili. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, okay?